Solving basic trig equations, part 4. Okay, we're solving for x. We want all the solutions, no calculator. We're working in terms of radians. Let's look at this first example here. I will isolate the cosine x, so subtract 3 from both sides, and then divide both sides by 3. And that gives me what I want. 0 divided by 3 is 0, so I have single trig function, single variable, equal sign, and a number. I'm going to go to step B now, which involves drawing a picture, but of course when I see a cosine ratio of 0 or 1, I know I can't draw a triangle picture for that. I'm going to have to draw a unit circle picture. In other words, I'm going to have to think of that 0 as a coordinate more than a ratio. Let's see, I want to find all the places within one period that have a cosine coordinate of 0. Well, cosine is the a coordinate, so let's see, here would be a spot, right? Because this is the point 0, 1. This point has an a coordinate of 0. Are there any other spots within one rotation that have an a coordinate of 0? The other one would be down here at the bottom. This spot also has an a coordinate of 0. There's nowhere else on the circle that has an a coordinate of 0. So we have accomplished step B. We have found the two places within one period where you get that coordinate. We're working in radians, so obviously one of those angles would be pi over 2, and the other one would be 270 degrees, or 3 pi over 2. And then step C. Do we need step C? Yes, because we want all the solutions. Well, all I have to do is take each of the answers I found and add on multiples of the period. So I would have pi over 2 plus 2k pi, multiples of 2 pi, and I would have 3 pi over 2 plus multiples of 2 pi. Now, here's the thing. Every once in a while, you end up with a situation that can be simplified, and that will happen if your answers are evenly spaced. These two answers are evenly spaced here around the unit circle. In fact, to go from one to the next just requires 180 degrees, or pi radians, right? Every time I rotate another 180 degrees, I get another answer. Another 180 degrees, another 180 degrees, and so on. What that tells me is I don't really need two lines here to describe these answers. I can condense those two lines and simply say, well, if you just start at pi over 2 and add in not multiples of the whole period, but multiples of pi, that equally spaced amount, you will get every solution. We're always trying to write things as simple as possible, so that's what you're expected to do. When your answers are evenly spaced, your two lines condense into one. And then finally, just a comment about this last example. Obviously, step A has already been accomplished here. Single trig function x equals number. Before you start drawing pictures, though, what you're supposed to recognize is, wait a minute, getting a sign ratio of 4? That's not possible. The highest spot on the unit circle is right here. There's no sign ratio bigger than 1 or less than -1. You can't get a sign ratio of 4. And so if you see something like that, you can just stop right away and say no solution. Thanks for watching.